Hey guys, it's Ashley. Today is Wednesday, which means it is once again time for Top 5 Wednesdays. This is a challenge that was created by Lainey over at Ginger Reads Lainey. I will link her channel and the Goodreads group down below if you'd like to check them out. Today's topic is your top 5 favorite character tropes. Now, a character trope is kind of like a cliche. It's something that happens through a lot of books in those genres. Like, YA has a lot of different character tropes. Most popular ones are like love triangle, one girl versus the government. You may love them or you may hate them. I actually enjoy both of those. They can be really good or they can be really not so good. But I generally am a fan of those two tropes, but they're not on my list because I feel like those are too common. Coming in at number 5 is the bad boy redeemed. I don't like a bad boy just to be a bad boy. I like the bad boy who is bad for a reason. You know, once you get to know him, you see why he's like that, and you know that there's a reason behind it. 2 examples that popped into my head were Jace from the Mortal Instruments series and 4 from the Divergent series. At first, they're both kind of jerks, really sarcastic and gruff, and then you kind of find out their backstory and see why they're like that, and they end up being not so jerky. They're actually kind of sweet, and I love the sarcasm thing anyway. I think that's great. So that's what I mean by a bad boy redeemed. Somebody, you know, who's got the bad boy thing going on, but there's a reason and they're not actually so bad once you get to know them. Trope number 4 that is my favorite is the quirky independent woman. This is very close relative to the manic pixie dream girl, but it's a little bit different. I like to think of it as the manic pixie dream girl with depth. I know the Manic Pixie Dream Girl kind of gets like a lot of slack on BookTube and among readers in general as being too flippant and too whatever. I do enjoy the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, but that's not what's on the list. The list here is the quirky independent woman. Somebody like Annabeth from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series who has her quirks, who's got her own thing going on, can handle things on her own, but doesn't necessarily want to. She likes to have a friend with her, likes to, you know, be part of the group. Also, Kath from Fangirl. Totally different kind of story than Annabeth, but she's very quirky. She's very much independent, takes care of herself, is in her own little world, but is somebody just so cool that you relate to and you want to be like them. I love that kind of character. I think that's the kind of person I want to be, so I like those characters in my books. Character trope number 3 on my list of top favorites is the hero who is scared, because so many times we get these characters in these crazy situations and they just automatically are like, oh yeah, there's a demon coming at me. No problem, I got this. And you're like, no, come on. So the 2 that I picked for my examples here, the first one that popped into my head was Clary, because one of my favorite things when I first read City of Bones was that she heard about the whole Shadowhunter thing and demons and all of those, and she was scared and was unbelieving, which is something that I look for in heroes when they're thrust into these new situations. Because if that was me, I would not be all gung-ho of like, oh yeah, of course they exist, let's go kill them. I'd be like, whoa, wait a second, what are you talking about? No, I can't do that. I've never fought anybody, let alone a monster. So I love when the heroes kind of have that same reaction that I would, and they're scared, but they overcome it to become the hero. You know, I don't like the ones who are just totally scared and sit there in the corner, because then they're not actually a hero. The second one is one of my most recent reads, and that is Katie from the Illuminate Files. I can't wait to do a book talk on that because it was so good. But Illuminate follows Katie as she's thrust into this crazy intergalactic war battle thing. Really descriptive, aren't I? I have a massive migraine right now. But she's thrown into this crazy situation. She's one of the few people that is actually stepping up to fight for her life and the life of all these innocent people. We see a couple different times that she kind of shuts down. Not just like, I was afraid, but I stood up and did it. Like, she literally shuts down at one point in a spacesuit in the middle of this room, curls herself into a ball and cries, then stands up and goes and saves the world. Maybe. No spoilers. But she stands up and goes and does what needs to be done. And I think that is awesome because that is exactly what I would do. So I love Katie for that reason. I am a huge fan of that book and of Katie, but you'll be getting a book talk on Illuminae sometime in August probably, because I don't think I can wait much longer to talk about it with you because it was so good. Trope number 2 that is my favorite in books is road trips. This isn't even just like a book trope, this is like a life trope. If it has to do with road trips or journeys, I am all over that. Like, that is yes, I'm going to read it. The two examples that immediately popped to mind, of course, was Paper Towns, because I just finished rereading the book. I just saw the movie, which was only meh to me. But still, I love the book so much. Also, 13 Little Blue Envelopes is such a fun one because it's not just like a road trip like driving in the car down the highway. It's like an around-the-world journey. So those are the two examples that popped into my head, but also not just road trips, any kind of journey that the characters go on. Like These Broken Stars, where they're on like an intergalactic through space journey. I love that too. I just love to see traveling in books and in movies and in TV shows and in my life. I want all the traveling possible in my life. My number one trope of all time in literature is the arranged or convenience marriage. I love reading arranged marriages or marriages of convenience or some kind of forced marriage where they come to love each other. I love those books. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I have 3 books that are tied for first place of my top favorite book. They kind of just take turns depending on what day of the week it is, I guess. And all 3 of them have some level of arranged marriage in it. First up is The Princess, where a totally average girl has an arranged marriage with the prince, and I love it. Then we have The Rescue, where our main character is kind of poor. She's lost a lot of her family's wealth when her mom died, and her dad is struggling with health issues, and thanks to her dad's health issues and memory problems, he kind of tells everybody that she's married. Craziness ensues. She ends up marrying a rich man who lives in the town to kind of save her reputation and save her family. It's just so sweet. I love it so much. And then the other story I know I've talked about before is Donovan's Daughter, and in that one, a school teacher gets stuck out in a snowstorm. The town doctor finds her on his property in the middle of the snowstorm, and she's like nearly frozen to death, takes her inside his house. They wait out the storm together. But then all of the town people find out about it. They stop sending their children to school, and the only way of redeeming her reputation is either to leave town or marry the doctor, which she does. And it's so great because she is terrified of doctors. So even though he is like the sweetest guy ever, she is terrified of him because of things in her past. And it's just so sweet. All 3 of those books are by Lori Wick. A lot of her books actually have like arranged marriages in them or marriages of convenience, which might be why I love her books so much. But that kind of marriage of convenience is a major theme in Christian romance novels for some reason. And so I have read a lot of them and I love them all. That is absolutely my favorite. I don't even know. I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. I almost see like my life going that way. I don't think I would ever willingly do it, but who knows? Maybe that's in my future. Maybe that's how I meet Mr. Ashley. So those are my top 5 favorite character tropes or literature tropes. Let me know down below what your favorite tropes to read about are. I would love to hear from you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you later. Bye!